One, two, three, and we are a go. Hello, everyone. This is Nick Randoms88 back with more Katawa Shoujo. This is going to be my last upload for right now, cause like I said, I'm fucking exhausted. But I can do one more for you guys. I'll try to make it as long as I possibly can without getting really fucking tired. But first, let me see how many frames I'm working with, because I have to do this at every video to make sure that it's not going to, lag uncontrollably and make the video look like shit. So, 1 second. Working with enough. Alright, we're good. So, where we left off was meeting another character in a room, and that's about as much as I can say, because otherwise it'd be a spoiler for people who don't know. So, let's load this up. I don't think I read this yet, so if I did, because I don't really check the videos beforehand, so if I did read this, well, oh well, I gotta read it again. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling that, and the slight cloudiness in her eyes means that she must be at least partially blind like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. I take it you're a new student to Yamaku. Yeah, just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting. One which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. I'm Lily Satao, pleased to meet you. So yeah, we got another character, and her name is Lily. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing every character's story for this, so yeah, gotta do hers too. I don't know where I'm gonna end up for this playthrough right here, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Hisao Nakai. 008. Hell no. That was bootleg. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. Why not? As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along the shelf. A brush here, a brush there. Her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. Seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see different disabilities in students in my class. The students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I've never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offer or preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Shizune and some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, in the science room with Matao. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. Like this, I don't know. Just this picture makes her look extremely fucking large compared to him, even though they're about the same height. One second. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, the smell's quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Tatao. Tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please, there's no need to be too formal. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct, I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Wrong words! I mean, sorry. I feel like slapping myself for the fox pass. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem to be the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Sure. Sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, Oh, fuck. God damn it. S- okay, I had to look up how to pronounce it. I think it's segue, so I segue into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her version of a place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duties as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune is blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunchtimes, the baseball club and the book club in the room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, though, such as art and music clubs. I'd be in that fucking music club, man. I like music. I was in a music club in one school, but it was a shitty music club. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. Hold on, I'm fucking cold because I have my window open. I wonder if this school shares the same rule as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Ah, good. That's a relief. I've really let down my guard around this girl. To let such a thing slip out, the fact seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lily does the same. Transition. And holy fuck, it's been 5 hours. As I look over to the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has a distinctly orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. Huh, the time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seems to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of time. Sorry, Hisao, I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to allay her concern. God damn, that's loud. Ah, no, it's okay. Library's still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lily seems likely to know in any case. True, it's open till 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you to where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it, all right. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me. You failed me again, brain! Which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's alright, I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of a straight, retractable cane that had been slipped into the middle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane that the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lily's is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers, we slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to the warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school's library, with the distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old-world air. There don't seem to be a lot of students here, considering the time. It isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, I think that's how you pronounce her name. I think just one of the U's is silent. Like I said, I have a very hard time pronouncing anything like Far Eastern, like Asia, like Vietnamese, anything that has to do with Chinese, Japanese, or anything like that. I have a very hard time fucking pronouncing. So, Yuko, are you here? She says it to thin air since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. Aww. The origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up to extremely rigid attention. Hi, Lily. How can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing. Just hit my head. Yeah, just hit my fucking head on the counter. I'll be alright. I think there's some blood coming out the back of my head, though. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk, and while I was looking for it, a pencil dropped, and when I was looking for both of them, you came and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry. No. It's okay. Sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. She's quick to reverse Lily's apologies, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yeah, worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look. She seems to fit a library perfectly. Ah, Lily, did you get my message? Message. Oh, the 2 imported books that arrived? Right. It finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but it missed her celebrations partially for managing to change the topic, I'm sure. She notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. It's cool. It's all good. Do you need to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. Like I said, it's probably going to take me a while to warm up to voice acting for this, because voice acting is hard for me. because I'm not used to doing it. The way she can so quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me, Yuko. This is Hisao, a new student. Hisao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hisao. Right, Hisao. Pleased to meet you too, Hisao. God, so many Hisaos. Ugh. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Hisao a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject horror. Uh, I. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. How's it any responsibility at all? I don't get. But her objection is so sincere, I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. But, so, there are lots of books in Braille here? I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops into my head. It seems to work at least partially, as Yuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. While I think about a third or fourth of Yamaku's library is either in Braille or audio. Makes sense given all the blind students that be here. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? Um, well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably why. They spend more on new books than on my salary, and then I have to organize and shelve all of them. I'd be pissed. So troublesome and they weigh so much. I wish I could quit this job. A very awkward silence follows this revelation of too much information. um, I'll go check the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I would have those books if it's alright with you. Transition. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I study the spines of the books in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choice in here. The formality of the library sinks in. Sure, there are large print and braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is, a library. It's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lily is snuck with us in here, unless it was here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach at the end of the aisle and find a collection of desks, set up for study or personal reading. Going a little further, though, I discover a nice quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has the odd student sitting at the desk, either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on one of the several beanbags. Hanako! This chick is like fucking really, really shy. It's a dark haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's really into it. From the way she was acting today, I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious appearance from the class raises all sorts of whys in my head. Intrigue floats slowly but surely towards the surface, and before I know it, I'm walking towards the mysterious long-haired girl. Guess there's no harm in introducing myself as I would with anyone else. She's a classmate after all. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my books beside it. The girl starts looking scaredly up at me from underneath her fringe. This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bangs, I can see that part of her face, or at least a third of it, if not half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet her own eyes. For a second, I am shocked and divert my eyes to the book in her hands before I realize that looking away probably only makes it worse. Yeah, that usually tends to happen. Okay. Fuck. Okay, 1 second. I'll read this real quick before I go do what I gotta do. Takes too many seconds to collect myself and remember what I walked up to her for. There's two choices. Hi, I'm new here, Hassan Akai. We're in the same class. Or, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. Now, before I continue and make a choice, I need a fucking drink. I am parched as a motherfucker, so I'll be back.